Welcome to Living with Disabilities. I'm your host, Katrina Smith, and today I'll be talking to Tylia Flores, who lives with Spastic Cerebral Palsy. Welcome to Living with. I'm your host, Katrina Smith, and today I'll be talking to Tylia. Hi, Tylia. Before we begin our interview, can you share with our viewers something about you?
Well, my name's Tylia Flores. I'm a 25-year-old disability advocate. I am a self-published author, currently working on my second book, and I was born with a condition called cerebral palsy.
All right. So, you basically covered what your disability is. So, can you tell us what age were you diagnosed with it?
I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age, I believe, 2.
Okay. Can you explain what type of cerebral palsy you have and what type of physical therapy you do that you take for it?
Well, I was born with the most severe form of cerebral palsy. It is called spastic dysplasia, and it mostly affects my motor skills and my mobility on my left side.
Okay. Excuse that. Let's see. Um, let's see. Okay. What other type of therapy do you do for your cerebral palsy?
I like to get in my walker, but mostly my favorite type of activity is doing aqua therapy because I'm able to walk in the water without feeling any pain.
Okay. Um, what other type of therapy do you do for your CP?
And I do, like I said, I do the walker, aqua therapy, and I do occupational therapy because, as you could see right here, I have a form of swan neck deformity. Now, swan neck deformity is when the finger bone's out of place, so you kind of have to do exercises to prevent it from being the most severe. And the reason why they call it swan neck deformity is because it's in the shape of a swan.
Okay. Um, let's see. How does your CP affect your everyday life?
Well, Katrina, it affects my everyday life greatly. I mean, more on the positive side, it teaches me lessons every day, and I consider it to be an adventure in itself, but it does cause me to have a lot of chronic pain, a lot of low muscle tone, so I have to constantly take medication.
Okay. Um, what helps you stay motivated when you feel frustrated?
What helps me feel motivated when I'm feeling frustrated is advocating and helping others in my same position.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a support group like your family and friends?
Yes, I have a very big support group. My mom is like my number one support system, and I also live with my stepdad, so they're both great support systems. And one of my favorite things that my mom always taught me is finding inner strength through your battles. So I thank her for everything.
Okay. Um, what inspired you to become an advocate?
Basically because I wanted to be a voice for those with CP who couldn't necessarily speak for themselves. Like, I was lucky and fortunate enough to have a case of CP where I could still communicate, still sit up, still express myself when other people, they just can't do it because their CP is too severe.
Okay. Um, what inspired you to become a radio talk show host?
Well, what inspired me to do that was because I wanted to give people a radio show that was focused on positivity and spreading awareness for disabilities instead of the gossip you hear on local radio shows.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us where they can find you if they want to, like, tune in?
Well, you can tune in to me at Asheville FM on every other Tuesday at 5:35 p.m. at ashevillefm.org.
Okay. Um, what inspired you to become an author, and what type of books or articles do you write about?
Ooh, that one's gonna be an emotional one. Well, I'm gonna take you back to 25 years ago when I attended United Cerebral Palsy in New York City. I had met a young lad by the name of Daniel, and Daniel and I became very good friends in preschool. And when I moved, we lost touch. But luckily, one fateful day, I decided to log on to my MySpace, and he sent me a friend request, and we began the friendship over again. It seemed like years didn't pass. And then shortly after, he got diagnosed with cancer and passed away.
Oh no.
And when that happened, I needed to find a way to channel my grief, so I just wrote a book, James Ticking Time Bomb, and that's the story on that. And how I got into advocacy was because decided to publish a book out of grief, and I discovered that I loved writing so much. And then when I was 18, I went on to writing about cerebral palsy, became a contributor for the Mighty in 2017. Now 2020, I'm a community leader and a supporter for the Mighty.
Okay. Let's see. What is the most misconception about your disability?
That, there's plenty, but the one that annoys me is that people with cerebral palsy can't live an average life. And that's the one that I tell people we gotta stomp on that one, because we all have a story to tell and we all live our lives to the best of our ability. So yeah.
Okay. Um, what if I can give you to others? What can you give to others living with a disability and want to bring awareness? Basically, uh, what advice can you give to other people that want to bring awareness to their disabilities?
It all starts within you and the message that you want to spread and the positivity that you want to bring. And if you want to be an advocate, you just got to remain positive and spread your message and speak your truth, because it's your story. And sometimes you have to be the author of your own story as an advocate. So that's
Okay. How would you, basically, I think I said this already, but how would you motivate others to come out and talk about their disabilities?
by just speaking to them and telling them my story through the many platforms that I have, in the hopes that they'll get inspiration to spread their story without a worry, and just have courage while doing it.
Hmm. Okay. Do you have anything you would like to say to our viewers?
Well, I like to end this show with every show that I'm on. I like to end it with this quote, and it is, despite the obstacles you face, you have to keep on stomping.
There you go. Now, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for sharing your story with everyone. May you have a great day.
You too, Katrina.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Tylia Flores, for sharing your story with us. If anyone who would love to share their story, you can contact Living with Disabilities on Facebook page, and we will get back to you.